Hey there, welcome to my channel. What you're about to watch is a recording of a live Q&A call that I do weekly for the students of my course From Zero to Coder in 14 Days, where I teach beginners how to start in this world of coding from the very beginning. The course is currently in pre-launch phase, and these live Q&A calls are part of the bonus package for the students that decide to enroll during this pre-launch phase. If you want to know more information about it, check the link in the description. And if you still have any questions, feel free to drop your question in the comments below. The video is quite long. It takes the full 40 minutes of a free Zoom call. And I hope you enjoy it anyway. And if you decide to join the program, I will be waiting for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Welcome to our Q&A call number 2. So, Diogo.
Hi.
How are your coding skills evolving?
They are evolving.
So, were you able to try by yourself to solve the...
Yeah, I tried the Advent of Code number 1, and I did that, but the Advent of Code number 2, I couldn't do it. And I always were seeking help in ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's perfect. So
ChatGPT helped me with the programming language and the lines and how I would do the cycles.
the loops, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So this is also one thing that is very important, is that even though I'm using Grok on my examples, you can use whatever you want. You can use Gemini, you can use ChatGPT, it doesn't matter. In the end, all of them will help you to achieve your goal. So then I think it would be interesting for you to share your screen, and maybe we can
Okay.
go over, because you mentioned that you couldn't solve it, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what can be the
Okay.
issue.
So right now, I have this is the, okay, return to day one.
So
So
you
you
were
have
able to
here,
solve the first part.
yeah, I solved the
Amazing.
first part. Here, I used IntelliJ as you told me to use. And I went to this function and I made my program, my first function. I went here for fun main. This was already like pre-worked out. And then I added a variable that was floor that started at 0 and a value that was the input that here the Advent of Code gave me.
But I
And
noticed that
then
you have in your string, you have a parenthesis on the left of the quote. Uh, was that by mistake?
uh, no, I have one at the end also because
Why?
this is a string
Yeah, so if it's a
of
string, you don't need the parentheses at the beginning. You just need to start with the quote.
really?
Yes. So that's why I'm wondering if the quote, so maybe that was the reason why.
No, actually no, because it worked at the
Okay. You just need quote, and then you put your sequence. So this will not work. So you have to start with the
this won't work.
quote. No. You have to put the quote at the beginning. No, a quote.
How is it like
Aspas.
this?
No, aspas. So I'm saying
Okay,
it in Portuguese. Yes, and then I go to the end and put another quote.
okay.
Exactly. So a string is always delimited by 2 quotes, open quote or double quote in this case, and close double quote. Okay, and then
But
continue.
here, yeah. But at the beginning, I started
It's the opposite
this was
way. It's a
what I did.
slash slash star star slash.
Yeah, backwards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that you have learned some things, because we didn't touch
Yeah.
this yet. Very nice. See, this is exactly the goal, that you learn things without me.
Yeah, because I had other programming languages. I
Mm-hmm.
know that you could like do some text without compiling, and then I searched. Actually, it was at Google, and
Very
it worked
good.
out.
Very nice.
Now
That's
I
the goal.
cannot compile because I have this thing on top
But
of
it
the
should work.
screen.
You just need to run it.
Yeah, what's the?
You press
I
play
cannot run
at
it
the
because
top. You press play.
yeah, but I cannot reach it because I have a bar for the shared
Strange.
screen.
Because here I see it.
Yeah.
Strange.
Okay, I can move this around.
Perfect.
So this gave me 74,
Mm-hmm.
and I do think, yeah, it was 74. So that it was exactly the same thing
Uh-huh.
with the parentheses in the beginning or not.
Exactly. Because
Uh,
what the parentheses do, uh, basically, if you put the parentheses around the zero on the var floor equals zero, you can also put parentheses opening and closing, but they basically don't do anything.
okay. So I asked for in ChatGPT for a cycle that could run every index in an array. So he gave me this function here.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't in it because this was for the second part. It was just for I in inputs, and then this gave me like this formula.
Uh-huh.
When inputs I well, this is like I don't know if this starts at 0 or at
Yes.
1.
Starts at zero. Yes.
Uh, but well, when it's like this, you can go plus plus. That's like for adding a value on floor, and then
Mm-hmm.
minus minus.
Yes.
This when is like when this does this, then do that. When this does this, then do that. But this is like a simplified formula. I learned that a little while ago,
Very good.
and then after it, this gave me the 74,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I did it. It was just I kind of understand a little bit about you don't say cycles, you say what
Loops.
the
Loops.
loops. Yeah, I know a little bit about loops and conditioning and conditionals, like this
Mm-hmm.
if,
Very
and
nice.
then for this if I asked ChatGPT to give me a conditional so that when this value equals -1, it could within a loop, it
Uh-huh.
could give me the iteration, and then it could break out from this loop so that it could only print the this. I have it in Portuguese, but it's like
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
value uh, of floor -1 was reached at this.
Mm-hmm. And what was the problem statement for the second part?
The second part was part two. Now, given the same instruction, find the position of the first character that causes him to enter the basement floor
Mm-hmm.
-1. The first character in the instruction has position -1. The
Has
first character
position
in the
one. Okay.
instruction has, oh, okay, this, okay, now I'm talking to it, maybe because it was a 0
Uh-huh,
at
exactly.
first. That's
Yes.
my mistake.
Yes. See,
Okay.
so what just happened, um, is usually mentioned is like there's a situation where you say that this is when you ask the rubber duck. So when you have a problem, you talk to a rubber duck, you explain the problem, and while explaining the problem to someone else, you will very easily find the answer. And this happens a lot of times. Um, no, it was correct. What you had was correct. That will not work.
No.
Revert it. Yes. Yes. So now instead of having $I, you have dollar
Yeah.
and then open brace. Brace, that's a parenthesis.
Mm,
Exactly. But inside the string.
okay. It
So,
jumped outside.
that's why it even changes the color, see? So it recognizes that this is a valid syntax. Run it. So maybe now it will give you the right answer.
Yeah.
Amazing. See?
Yeah, because I didn't know if that started at 0 or not, and I never even thought about it
Yes. So the
because I know some.
strings, yes, it
Yeah.
always starts at 0.
Okay.
Always. So in most
So
programming
this value needed
languages,
to be, yeah.
exactly. Very nice.
And this dollar sign, what does it do actually?
This is called string interpolation that allows you to basically, instead of doing exactly what you were doing, like in Python, for example, that you put comma and then you put the next value in front, this
Yeah.
allows you to put the value inside the same string.
Okay. Okay.
So the technical term for this is string interpolation.
Okay.
So if you end up using another programming language and you want to know how they do basically this, you can search how can I do string interpolation in Python or Ruby or whatever,
Okay.
right? So if you know the technical term, then it's much easier when you change to another language. You can just search how can I do this.
Okay.
Amazing. Okay, so one
Yeah.
thing that I wanted to, I'm already recording, I already recorded the first lesson and I'm editing the video. So this will also be on the course. And it takes quite a while to to edit the video because I'm still a beginner on video editing, but I think the
Yeah.
output will come out nice. I mean, the audio is not the best, but I did my best to make the audio not so bad because I have a lot of echo here in my room. So I had to
Actually, it sounds nice here.
in here.
Yeah, in this video call.
Yeah, because I'm using this microphone, but in the video recording,
Okay, in the
I
other
was
videos you
using.
weren't using, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to press record, so I'm using the outputs directly from the camera, and then it captures a lot of this echo of the room. But here is nice
Okay.
because I'm very close to the microphone, so the sound is quite good. Okay, then this is amazing. So this is already a huge improvement because you had to learn already this for I in input dot indices. You had to learn this break to jump out of the loop. And so this is already very good progress. So the next challenge here would be that instead of what's called hard coding is basically when you copy paste the string from the input to this program,
Yeah.
right? So you basically just went to the website, copy paste, and then you have the string there. But the problem with this is that your program will only work with this string. So if you would somehow want to give this program to someone else to run it with their own inputs, then it doesn't work, right? Because you basically compile the program, you give the program already compiled to someone else to just execute it, and then the output is always the same because the string is already there. So ideally,
Yeah, because my result was different than yours. Here you said yours was like 138 or something like that, and
yes,
mine was 74.
exactly. So your program is not reusable. For your
Okay.
program to be reusable, you have to read the input from a file. And whatever is in the file is the input that you will use. So it will not, the string of parentheses will not be inside your program, right? Will be outside
Okay.
in a file. And then you would have to open the file, read whatever is there, calculate the result, and show the result on the screen. So
Okay.
that would be your next challenge, to change this program so that you actually read the input from a file and
Okay.
not from a hard-coded string to make your program reusable. And ideally,
Okay.
also, you should do what's called a refactoring, so that you have one function that calculates the first part of the program and one function that calculates the second part of the problem. Because
What's
right
it
now
called?
it's called refactoring. Refactoring is when you extract some, for example, in this specific case, is when you extract the functionality of a piece of code outside into a function.
Like a
For
function
example,
in a function?
no, outside the function. So if you select from these four until where it closes, if you select like with the mouse or with the keyboard, yes, exactly. And now you right click, refactor. There's an option there saying refactor, yes. And now extract function. You have there function, and the shortcut is Control Alt M. Eventually, you will memorize the shortcut.
Extract function. Extract.
No, it just says function. Yes.
Okay.
And then you call it part one, for example. Enter. And then you see that now you have only the main function and you
Okay.
have the function outside, but you actually have it. So the floor variable should be still inside that function. So this you would have to adjust your function to just get the input because the floor is
I
used.
should delete this.
Exactly. You should delete that. Delete also the floor
Now,
on the parameters. Yes. There as well, part one.
where?
On the function, yes, there. Because
Input
now,
also?
no, now you are saying part one input. You are passing the inputs to the string, to the function, right? But your function is defined as receiving an input and a floor.
Okay, yeah. I need
So
to
this you also have to delete. Yes,
edit this
and
out.
now
Okay.
floor one should be called just floor, and then it should be 0, just like you had before. And here you can do also a refactoring. Leave the one there.
I need. How do you do this? Like to
So now you do refactor, rename. It's the first one. And I'll just floor, yes. And then it changes all the places.
yeah.
So this over time, of course, this is a lot of thing for you to consume in just a short call. But over time, you will gradually start memorizing all these shortcuts, extract function, rename variable, these kind of things. So now we have a problem. Because you had a print line there. Because now the problem is that you have part one and part two on the same function.
Yeah.
So this is something that you also have to do now. So you have part one only calculates the part one problem, the floor, yes. And then you have part two that calculates the other one, right? So this is something that you have to, it could be a nice homework for you to properly structure your code so that you have, and this is something
Have to have like two functions.
exactly. One function called part one, for example, another function called part two, and each does their own thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now you see part two is marked as red. And if you click on part two and you do Alt Enter, or if you click the yes create function, enter, and then it automatically creates the function. So all these shortcuts over time you will learn, and it will save you a lot of time. Right now, of course, you have to think, you have to click with the mouse, but at some point you will just do everything with the keyboard, and then you are much faster. It just takes time. But this is something that you can do on your own time to properly structure the code. And then if you want to execute just part one, you can do // on part two. If you want to execute just part two, you can do // on part one, just like you did with the print line. But now we have another issue. And
Yeah.
so let's focus on part one now. You can fix the code. You will learn a tool called Git so that you can manage versions of your code. And then it's very easy for you. Even if you screw around with the code, you can easily revert back to something that you know was already working. So this is something that is very important and that we will learn soon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so now
I
the
need to work
problem,
on this. Okay.
yes, the problem that you have there is that part one does not exist, right? The function part one does not exist.
Why? It's here.
Then it's because you don't have the function properly closed, probably. When you have the underline in red, it means that it's an error. If you put the cursor there, it will tell you which error. And also on the right, on the bottom right corner, you got the errors of your function. So if you do Control Alt L on your keyboard, it will format the whole file. See? And then it moved the private fun to the front, which means that your function is not properly closed. So if you close the before private fun part one, you need to close the brace. You are missing a brace. So if you see a function,
Yeah, here.
scroll up a little bit. Yes, exactly. Scroll up a little bit. Yes. So you see fun part two is aligned at the left, right? Which means that there needs
Yes.
to be a brace at the same level. So everything aligns at the same level. So now if you run it, Control Alt L again, exactly, and then run it. And then now you see that you have an error because you have one brace more, right? You see the underline at the end.
Jesus. I don't know what I did. Yeah, okay.
So scroll down to the end. And you need to delete that one. Yes. Okay, perfect. So scroll up, everything up, and comment part two. Part two, can put slash slash.
Here.
Yes. Let's forget about part two now. So now we have a problem because if you uncomment that print line, Control Z, yes, if you uncomment that, it doesn't work. Why?
Because I don't have this value in this function.
Exactly. So what can you do to have that value in that function? Have you learned that
This
already?
value in this function,
Yes.
do I need it? Because it already
Yes.
prints this. I don't need it. I think so.
You need it.
I do?
Yes. So the idea of the structure of the code is that when you call a function that computes a value, you return back the calculated value to whoever called the function. So what you want here is val floor equals part one input. So
Here?
before part one on the function call, floor space equals Control J. Control Shift J, sorry. Yes. And now delete part one and write floor like you had before on the print line. No, it was correct. It was correct. Control
Yeah,
Z.
but that's the J.
Control Z.
Control Alt J. No, Control Shift J, man. Wait.
Yes. Yes. And now change part one inside the print line to floor. Oh, the meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay, no problem.
Okay.
We have enough time. Okay, so now this will not work because your function part one is not returning anything. So you have to scroll down. You have to return, you have to change the signature. It's called the signature. So the first line where you say private fun part one input string, you have to change the return value. So at the end, of the parentheses, you put colon, int. Yes. Int with capital I. Yes, so now you say that the function returns an integer, and here you have to return floor at the end. Return, which is a keyword of Kotlin, yes, space, floor. Exactly.
Okay.
So now if you run it, now it will work. Because now you are returning the value. See?
Okay.
So this is always the logic. When you have a function that calculates a value, you give it the input, it does some computation, it returns back the value, and then you do the print line inside the calling function and not inside the function that computes. So the function that computes does not print anything to the screen. So you will have to do the same with this part 2. So the print line will not be there. You will actually return that value to the main function, and it's the main function that then prints the value to the screen. So, and this is something that you can later do. We have we don't have many minutes
How
left.
will I call it?
Yes. So this you can delete. You can delete that line. I mean, you can leave it like that. Go back to the code.
Yeah, but just to see. Yeah. And the position, how should I call it?
It doesn't matter. Call it P as for position. Doesn't matter. But that's a good point. So naming variables properly is a good skill. Equals. Part 2, input. Yes, enter. And now, instead of I plus 1, you put just P. Yes. So now, in your function, part 2, you have to return. Scroll down. Yes, here, instead of break, you can say return.
It will do the same thing. It will
Because
log out
break gets out of the loop. But if you write return, it also gets out of the loop.
return. Should I like?
No, you don't need you can just write the expression. You don't need the braces. Actually, that will not even compile. Yes, perfect. But then you also need to say that your function returns an integer. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yes. And now you have to return. In this case, okay, you can put just to simplify for your case, you can just say return 0 at the end of the function.
Where? Here?
Before you close the function. And then I will explain you why this has to be like this. Because basically all the control paths, all the flows of the function need to return something.
Okay.
And because you are returning only if floor equals -1, then in all the other cases, it would not return anything.
Okay.
So if you run it now, it should work also properly. See? So what you learned today was to do what's called refactoring. Refactoring is changing the structure of the code in the way that you don't change the functionality.
But the thing is, now it doesn't show me like part 1.
Yeah,
Why is that?
because you are not doing print line of part 1. But if you add there print line floor, it will work.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So if you run it now you will get 2 values. You'll have 74 and that
Okay.
one. See?
Okay.
Amazing. And right on time, we have 4 minutes 30 left.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
So now your homework is to change this code to read from a file, and then you can just go to the website of Advent of Code, download the file, put the file here inside the project, on the root of the project, and then your code
Okay.
should also run by changing the file and not by changing the source code, right? So that
Okay.
this would be the goal. And this allows you to learn already a lot of things. And I will also do a lesson on all the things related to this. Did you learn a lot of stuff?
Okay.
Was it a good experience?
Yeah, it was a good experience. Yes.
Amazing. You are a coder already. Yeah, this is how you begin. I mean, with these simple problems. I mean, if you
Yeah.
cannot solve these simple
Okay.
problems, you cannot create a website or an Android app or anything like this, right?
Yeah.
It will
Yeah. Yeah.
always become more and more complicated. And the more you practice these things, the things that are now complicated, it will become easier and easier and easier to the point that they are just second nature.
Okay.
Okay, amazing. Thank you very much. Then see you next
Thank
week.
you. Okay. Till next
Till.
week. Bye.
Bye.